Okay, so now what have we got? We've got a fuselage. And as you can see, let me get the base for the camera here real quick. If I can do this one, there we go. So I guess you can see that the fuselage is pretty well done. I just added the instrument panel. I'm not sure how much light is getting in there. Let's try this. Let's see if we can add a little bit more light. That's probably not too helpful, but anyway, the panel's in. I've just added some filler around the top of the panel here. There was a slight gap because of the thickness of our panel sandwich. The method by which the panel is made. It's a sandwich, what they call it. Well, they call it a panel sandwich. So it's two pieces of birch ply, in my case, two pieces of birch ply, and in the center is a piece of cardstock with the instrument dials on it, and then a sheet of acetate. So it goes a backer sheet of birch ply, cardstock with instrument faces on it, a sheet of acetate clear plastic to simulate or replicate the glass lenses or covers over the instrument dials, and then the top sheet or the actual instrument panel, which is this piece with the holes cut in it. And then around each of those holes I've created bezels using fine soldering wire wrapped around a paintbrush handle and then cut and separated. This is the cowling here, and it just fits right over the fuselage nose. And you can see here how this was hogged out. Basically took the two formers that created former number 1 and former number 2 that created the front and rear of the center section. They were much more solid, almost complete, and what I did was just slice them away to about I don't know what that is, maybe 3/16 thickness. The center section is infilled. If I had not infilled it and just wrapped it with the birch ply, it would have had a ladder effect. It would have been, multi-sided instead of perfectly round. So by infilling it and sanding it to the perfect round shape and then wrapping it, we get a perfectly round cowling. So this is 1/64 birch ply, which is essentially about the thickness of cardstock. Well, I thought I had a sheet of cardstock out. I guess I don't. At any rate, the same thickness as cardstock, only it's actually plywood. It's a birch ply. So I get a lot more resilience and durability, but all the same handling and fabrication properties as almost exactly the same as cardstock. I can cut it with scissors as well as cutting it with the X-Acto knife. Anyway, so then the nose of the cowling, this white plastic piece, is what the kit provides, and so I've glued that onto the front. And because this is now wrapped with the 1/64th, it's thicker. The diameter is greater than the diameter of the plastic nose portion of the cowling. So filler was used to blend that transition a little bit, and a little more filler will be used. And then the whole thing is painted and coated with sealer. And what the sealer does is it transforms the filler and prevents it from cracking or being lifted off by tape. It actually merges with the filler and hardens it and makes the filler more durable. That's why I use this stuff. It just has so many helpful properties in the finishing process. So anyway, this is our cowling. The motor fits into it. There's our motor. It can be inserted through the back of the cowling like so, and then manipulated into position. Here, let me do it the right way. So we have our top dead center where the little arrow is right here. I don't know if you can see that. We need our top cylinder, which is the one with the T right there. So we get those lined up, and then get the oil cooler, oil pump, aligned with the bottom of the cowling. Of course, once again, we're all thumbs when we turn on the camera. At any rate, you get the idea. This is, it's a tight fit, but it needed to be. And yet it does fit. I just have to do it right when I put it in there. There we go. Okay, so we get it aligned, top and bottom, centered inside of the cowling, and then it fits right into the front ring, the opening ring. Well, like I said, it's always an adventure. Almost got it. Let's see. Just about there. We just have to get the other side back in there. There we go. And it's almost. Alright. That's pretty much it. So there's our motor inserted. You can see it takes a bit of fiddling, but it gets there. And it actually sits back just a little bit more. The nose of the crankcase bell housing should be flush with the opening, just recessed into the opening. So, and that's finessable. We get there with just a little bit of time. Once that's established, then I can glue the motor in from the back here. And again, that's going to be after the motor's completely painted and everything. We manipulate it in a position, we set it and glue it, and then this goes onto the nose of our aircraft. You can see we end up with a pretty decent looking representation of a cowled Wasp engine on the Gilmore Redline Racer. So the next step, what's our process here going to be? So the next step, I'm thinking I'll probably put together the tail feathers, the vertical and horizontal stabilizers, rudder, and elevator. The way I do, it's just use the plan for patterns and cut them out of the solid sheet balsa and lay them up cross-banded with probably one sheet of the 1/32 birch ply in the center to keep it from warping, to keep everybody honest, keep everything flat. And then we'll lay those up, and then I'll lay up the wing. So the wing will be the last of the major fabrication, and the wing incorporates the landing gear. So as I'm building the wing, we'll be looking over the landing gear. We'll have to bend the wire for that as I'm laying up the wing, because the wire will have to be inserted into the wing before it's infilled, most likely. That may be the way I do it. If in looking at the plan, it seems better to me that I just assemble the wing without incorporating the landing gear wire, and then add the wire later by drilling into the wing and inserting the wires along with their struts, with their wheel pants, and all of the stuff that goes along with the landing gear of this airplane. Then I'll do it that way. So it just remains to be seen as I unfold the plan and start building the wing, how I want to go about that. And it'll be in a manner that will allow me to best manufacture the wing and smooth it out and still keep everything square. It's important that the landing gear, when it goes onto this airplane, that it be done symmetrically, that we get the angles right, we get the tilt right, we get everything the way it's supposed to be. Installing the wire bracing for that landing gear, in other words, installing the wire cores as if I were building a flying airplane, does help with alignment. It keeps you honest when you're doing the alignment, and it removes part of the element of chance of getting it wrong. The downside of the installing the wire and incorporating it in before infill is that it can affect the way the finishing goes. It can cause too much of a interruption in the sanding and smoothing of that wing on the underside, essentially. But also trying to sand the top side of the wing. If I can't lay the wing flat on a deck and sand it the way I usually do, because the wires are there, and that's a problem. So I'll have to look at it and see how to best go about that. But anyway, I want to bring you up to speed on where we are, and discuss a little bit about what the plan is to carry forward, to proceed with the production. I am leaning towards laying up the tail and getting out of the way. And then what that also does is, as I'm working on the wing or infilling the wing or laying coatings onto it after I get it sanded and shaped, and during the drying time, I can take that time to sand and finish the tail surfaces, which could lead to a better outcome on the finish work on the tail. So that's why I'm leaning that way. In fact, I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and lay up the tail and get those two parts established and shaped before I lay up the wing and get the wing going. So, all right, there you are. We're up to speed. I appreciate everybody viewing the channel who has viewed or commented or subscribed. That's always good. I have, I guess, 43 subscribers now. Thank you to everyone who is a subscriber. I'm not monetizing. Obviously, I'm not in a position anywhere near it based on viewership. I'm not really doing this for that. This is, it's fun for me. I'm trying to disseminate information about how this is done. Show people that it's not that difficult. Anything can be built and modeled. I had a plan based on the Mandalorian. I have other interests besides aviation, sure. So the Mandalorian, the show is okay, but I really like the Razor Crest, the shape of that ship. Every badass has to have a cool car, and so for the Mandalorian, that's the car. And I'm thinking I want to scratch build that myself from, make my own plans and recreate that out of materials that I typically use, this stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to eventually try and get one and do that. The other thing I have coming up is I have a boat. I have grandkids, and one of the things that we like to do with them is they like the pool, they like the playing in the tub, and I thought I'll get them a boat, but I thought instead of what I'd do is just build one, and it's a real basic Dumas Coast Guard boat. It's just a little toy boat basically, but it's a wood kit, and I thought I'd put it together on the channel and show people that it's not that hard. A little bit of glue, a little bit of time, following instruction. It does help to have a background in this stuff, but even that's not necessary. And with so many videos available now, you can pick up on it. But I just thought I'd add to that noise and do one of those here on the channel. Let's see, the boat also. For that boat, I have a flatbed trailer. The boat, I believe, is 1/24th scale. That's the scale it was done in. And I have some 1/24th semi trucks, so I got a 1/24th lowboy flatbed trailer, and I thought I would use that as a stand for the boat when the kids aren't playing with it. And it's just stuff that I kind of stuff that I think of and that I do. So that was the plan, and I'll be putting that together on the channel. It's a pretty simple plastic model, so it should go together pretty quick. What else? Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thanks again for viewing and for subscribing and for looking at the channel, and I hope everybody's staying healthy. Looks like we're about to go into a second round of stay at home and businesses closing and all that. I have only one thing to say about that: wear a damn mask. When you go out, when you go into a building, any box of air that you go into, wear a mask when you go in there. For yourself, but I mean for the people who are working there, for the people who are around you, for your kids, for your parents. Just wear a damn mask. Don't be a stupid Trumper, okay? That's inexcusable. Just put on a damn mask and be part of humanity, and not part of a huge problem. This is why we're regressing here. This is why America's in the position it's in. We're not a third world shithole country, okay? We're the United States. We're not red state, blue state, right? We're not Trump or non-Trumper. We're either going to try, or we're going to fall flat on our ass. And right now we're falling flat. So pull yourself up and put a damn mask on. Thank you.